What if the baby staring back at your baby in the mirror isn't who they think it is? And the moment you find out why will completely change how you see every giggle, every confused frown, every tiny hand reaching out to touch the glass. Have you ever noticed how a baby looks at their own reflection like it's the most fascinating stranger they've ever met? They laugh at it, they touch it, they sometimes even try to look behind the mirror, as if searching for the other baby hiding somewhere in the wall. It looks adorable, maybe even funny, but underneath that innocent little moment is one of the most quietly profound processes happening inside the human mind, a process that shapes how we understand ourselves for the rest of our lives, and almost nobody talks about it. Most parents assume their baby simply likes shiny moving things, and while that's partly true in the very early months, something much deeper is unfolding. Something psychologists have spent decades studying, because a baby's reaction to a mirror is actually a window into how self-awareness is born inside the human brain. Think about it for a second. When were you first aware that you exist as a separate person from everyone else? That the thoughts in your head belong only to you? That the body you feel is truly you, and not just another object floating in the world? You probably can't remember, because that awareness didn't arrive with a memory attached. It arrived quietly, piece by piece, and one of the very first places it started forming was in front of a mirror. In the earliest weeks of life, a baby has almost no concept of self at all. Their whole world is a blur of sensations, hunger, warmth, sound, touch, and when they look into a mirror, they don't see me. They just see a moving, colorful shape that reacts when they move, which is already strange and exciting enough to hold their attention, because babies are drawn to anything that responds to their own actions. It's like discovering magic for the first time. Wave a hand, and the shape waves back. That instant cause and effect is deeply satisfying to a developing brain that's trying to make sense of the world. But here's where it gets interesting. Somewhere between 6 and 12 months, babies start reacting to mirrors in a slightly different way. They become more curious, sometimes even confused. They might reach out and touch the mirror. They might smile at their reflection like they're greeting a friend. And researchers have found that at this stage, most babies actually believe the reflection is another baby, a separate little person who happens to copy everything they do. Which is why some babies try to play with their reflection the same way they'd play with another child, and why some babies get frustrated when the other baby won't come out and play properly. Now here comes the twist that surprises most parents when they first hear it. A baby does not automatically know that the reflection is themselves. Self-recognition is not something we're born with. It's something the brain has to learn, almost like learning to walk or talk. And this discovery completely reshaped how psychologists understand child development, because it means the sense of I am me is not a switch that flips on at birth. It's a skill built slowly through repeated experience, through countless moments of watching a reflection move exactly when they move, until one day, something clicks. This is where one of the most famous experiments in developmental psychology comes in. And it's honestly one of the simplest yet most brilliant tests ever designed. A psychologist would quietly place a small dot of color, usually red, onto a baby's forehead or nose, without the baby noticing. Then place the baby in front of a mirror and watch closely. And here's the fascinating part. Younger babies, usually under 18 months, would look at the mirror, see the red dot, and reach out to touch the mirror itself, as if trying to touch the mark on the other baby, completely unaware that the mark was actually on their own face. But older babies, usually somewhere between 18 and 24 months, would do something remarkable. Instead of touching the mirror, they would reach up and touch their own forehead, their own nose, right where the mark actually was. And in that single tiny movement, something enormous had just happened inside their mind, because that baby had just realized, for the very first time in their life, that reflection is me. This moment is often called the birth of self-recognition, and it's considered one of the earliest signs that a child is developing a genuine sense of identity, a boundary between me and not me. And once that boundary forms, it never fully disappears. It becomes the foundation for empathy, for self-control, for understanding that other people have their own separate thoughts and feelings too, which is honestly one of the most beautiful psychological chain reactions in human development, because recognizing yourself in a mirror is actually one of the earliest steps toward recognizing that other people exist as separate beings with their own inner worlds. And without that first spark of self-awareness, empathy as we know it might never fully form. But there's another layer to this story that most people never consider, and it might be the most emotionally powerful part of the entire mirror phenomenon, because a baby's reaction to their reflection isn't just about logic and cognitive development, it's deeply tied to emotion and connection. When a baby smiles at their reflection, or reaches toward it, or babbles at it like they're having a conversation, they're practicing something incredibly important. They're practicing the very first steps of social interaction, testing out expressions, watching how a face changes when they make it change, learning the invisible rules of communication long before they ever speak their first word. The mirror becomes a quiet, patient practice partner, one that never gets tired, never looks away, and always responds instantly, and in a strange, beautiful way. This is one of the reasons babies who are given mirrored toys or mirror time often show slightly faster progress in social smiling and facial expression recognition, because they are rehearsing the language of human connection, using their own face as the very first teacher. And here's the second twist that tends to surprise people even more. This whole process isn't just cute. It's actually one of the earliest measurable signs psychologists use to track healthy emotional and cognitive development. If a child reaches a certain age and still shows almost no self-directed behavior in front of a mirror, no curiosity, no self-touching, no recognition, it doesn't mean something is automatically wrong. Every baby develops at their own pace. But researchers use this simple mirror response as one small piece of a much bigger puzzle when understanding how a child's brain is organizing the world. Which means something as small and playful as a baby giggling at their own reflection is quietly connected to some of the deepest questions in psychology, questions about consciousness, identity, and what it truly means to know that you exist. Think about how strange and wonderful that is. This tiny human being, who can't even speak yet, who can't tie their shoes or count to 3, is quietly solving one of the most complex philosophical puzzles that has confused adult thinkers for centuries. Who am I? And how do I know I exist separately from everything around me? And they're solving it not through words or logic, but through play, through laughter, through reaching out and touching their own face in front of a piece of glass. And once you understand this, that innocent little moment of a baby staring at the mirror stops looking so simple. It starts looking like one of the quiet miracles of being human. A moment where a brand new mind is discovering piece by piece that it is real, that it is separate, that it is someone. And maybe that's why so many parents instinctively slow down and watch when their baby looks into a mirror. Some part of us, without even realizing it, senses that we're witnessing the birth of a self, the very first flicker of I exist, lighting up inside a tiny growing mind. And if you think about your own life for a moment, every relationship you've ever had, every time you've felt understood, every time you've looked into someone else's eyes and felt a real connection, all of it can be traced back in some small psychological way to that very first mirror moment, the moment your brain learned the difference between me and the world. And once you see it that way, a baby's reaction to a mirror stops being just a cute video clip. It becomes proof that identity, empathy, and human connection all begin in the quietest, simplest places, long before we ever have the words to explain what's happening inside us. And maybe that's the most beautiful part of psychology. Discovering that the biggest truths about being human are often hiding inside the smallest, most ordinary moments. If this made you see your baby, or maybe even yourself, in a completely new light. Subscribe for more mind secrets.